and Shadow Demon.
Good lord.
The right side is looking stacked.
Juicy.
Well, we need some illusion clear heroes right now.
Yep, WG's got the LC, obviously, to deal with that in a way, and Luna is a strong laning presence. Like you kind of mentioned, WG wants strong lanes. So LC kind of also puts you in that manner, because you can dual lane really easily with that hero with another melee.
Do you think it was worth it to give up the Shadow Demon for the LC? They intentionally left both of the heroes in the pool, so everyone gets one piece of the pie.
But I mean, can we just return to the ban list for a second?
Earth Spirit.
Yeah. Warriors banning Earth Spirit. I mean, this was something, let's not forget that we saw huge success for the Malaysian squad with this particular hero, and now they're removing it.
But I mean, if they're not going to play it, which for whatever reason they've decided, hey guys, that worked great in the first round, let's not do that again. For whatever reason they've decided that, you don't want to give it Jerax, right? That's super dangerous. So.
Almost seems like they have an idea in mind with that type of ban, but...
I mean, in some cases you would rather to have the Ogre as well. Ogre provides more in the early game. OG did
or should do.
Yeah, OG,
we saw what Earth Spirit did, come on.
Yeah, OG didn't even first face the Earth Spirit in some of the games that they picked it, so not very sure about that ban. But regardless, we're already in the second phase and OG removes the Tinker. Illusion Clearers, heroes that are very good at killing all that Disrupt, Manta style, Alchemist.
And it's a WG hero, of course. They really like their Tinker.
Or you should say a Nana hero. Tinker and Storm.
Nana hero. Nana.
It's two of his most played heroes.
His Storm was pretty sweet in the qualifiers, actually. Oh god.
He's poor.
Production says we're gonna try this again.
Okay.
Right. So LC.
He's like, what's even happening?
What is going on?
He's like, oh, they're on me. Uh oh.
Nice one, Vlad.
Poor guys. We'll make a lot of noise, and the casters will make a lot of noise when we get into game. But the draft is still underway. I'll allow a quick nap for them.
We can sleep when we're dead. Nice, thank you. Okay.
So Omni Knight ban, I mean, same thing. It's a very staple pick for WG. Also helps a lot to get that 5-man going and more team fight unison for them. So OG banning that one out. Also, yeah, he's it's just a safe pickup for them. And it works well with Luna because we tend to see Luna's not really go for that BKB until later stages, so Repel kind of lets you accelerate in a different manner.
Do you think like the pure damage, the purify that you can do to Alk, to sort of cut through his regen a bit and everything is also something you wouldn't want? Like if you're dueling someone and you purify the Legion?
I wouldn't think that's why you'd pick the hero,
that's not so important, but more so the group up potential and the lanes. LC and Omni could form a formidable duel, and you want to have a good lane when you pick LC.
Yeah.
Are they just on the prowl for sleeping people? It looks like it.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, actually.
Too much illusion-based heroes,
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, not this again.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of
go for the Bat Rider.
And now, what kind of Bat Rider is this going to be? Is it going to be the winter favorite support Bat? Or
Gustav Bat Rider.
They did pick it into an LC though. Yeah. LC does have press the attack to remove that last
LC is very, very good against that hero. And Rubik too.
So they're going for that.
The instant lift.
Going for that dual lane already.
Undying LC. The strong lane. Unlike the last game where they had the Sand King and Elder Titan.
Right away they're already drafting two very strong lanes. Rubik Luna, two ranged heroes that benefit from the Lunar Blessing, and then the LC Undying, another strong dual lane. So now they're just, it's pretty obvious that they're just setting up for a Nana hero. So you said Storm was one of his favorites. They don't really have a great amount of lockdown for it. How do you feel about that versus the Alchemist?
I would prefer like something like Ursa, someone that can
something more like Ursa.
Yeah, I can kill him in the lane. Storm doesn't kill him in the lane. That's what. That's where you want to punish the Alchemist most in the early game. So I'm not so sure about that. But
why is that? Why do you want to punish him early, given that he should be able to catch up super easily?
Because you want to slow his timing. You don't want his radiance to come like faster than it already is. Like the last game was 12 minutes. Like slowing it down. Like, say you kill him one time in the lane, it's gonna set it back like 2 minutes.
Right.
It's a lot of time for a team to get ready for the Alchemist timing.
And he needs to be ahead.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He needs to be ahead.
And Ursa can repeatedly kill him. Like one rotation from a support, he's gonna be dead.
But I mean, just the simple question is, we were asking, okay, Anna got so big that there was no counterplay. Instead of banning Earth Spirit, Alchemist could have been on the chopping block. Surely they have a serious plan to counter this now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
must have.
if their plan is like Winter
strat.
says, shut down the lanes and
just go
win
quick.
earlier. Yeah.
Undying and Luna are very, very good at pushing and pressuring early. They are very good at 5-manning, sieging your base. That's when you want to hit Alchemist before he's ready to really fight and defend his towers.
Yeah, that's where Ursa would definitely fit more into it as well. So
But-
yeah, I agree with you with the Ursa pick.
Right now, OG has Juggernaut, so they have a sort of like a lot of early game heroes that don't require a lot of upside amount of farm to come online. So those heroes are going to be that mid shield. They're going to be able to buy time for the Alchemist to farm.
Do you think
Space.
there's any chance that the Alch and they're sort of baiting it and it's a support Alch? You
That's
don't
a-
see it very often. but
I said that when EG picked it first phase. I saw Creep playing a pub and he was playing support Alchemist, and when they did that, it came to my mind. I mean,
I feel like you're not playing to your strength when you already have
Yeah.
the Shadow Demon with that. Like,
very least likely, but yeah, there's a chance. Like a
There's always a
small
chance. Juggernaut is the second most picked hero at the Boston Major. 102 Juggernaut games have been seen.
ban out the
Gosh.
Sniper.
They removed the Ogre as well, so there won't be that, you know, that hero to
That's
fight
impressive.
fight the Undying.
The
in the
courier doing its job.
That is impressive.
Delivering him champagne.
Well played, Courier, and well played, lovely Christmas jumper man.
Here's the season.
So what is actually Jerax going to play here? Is he actually going to handle the Bat Rider support? Oh my god, I'm going to be so excited if he goes.
at your
Wow, 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 wow.
That's the support, I guess. Sheldy Melina.
That's a combo we used to see, like a roaming potential combo and high burst.
Their lane is very, very strong right now. We were so worried about the Undying LC doing a lot of damage, but right now, SD, Lina, and Juggernaut,
Ouch.
they are telling WG, get out of my lane.
Yeah.
SD, Lina, Juggernaut, they're not going to be able to pressure.
And they all can get Aghanim Scepters from the Alchemist if it ever gets to that point. So
Oh,
pure damage Laguna with Soul Catcher, even if it's on a support role, is
Wasn't
Pretty
Lina
ridiculous.
like one of the few that was not picked at TI?
Yeah, she's not a big pick.
I think
because
she wasn't.
because of the new items that are introduced, mainly the raindrops, very heavily counter her, and obviously the nerfs that she's
Right.
received in the patch.
So, okay,
She was very strong for quite a while, and then getting a couple nerfs.
Yeah.
just disappeared.
She was
Not fun
ridiculous.
being supports back then,
Not-
you know.
It wasn't even really direct nerfs to her. It was nerfs to other items too. Like Yule Scepter was super core on Lina, and then that one got
The
a
Aghanim's
heavy
damage.
nerf. The Aghanim damage as well got a big nerf.
And like you said, Raindrop is kind of a big one.
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, that's the
teardrop.
first. I think that is the first Lina we're seeing at the Boston Major as well.
Oh, for sure.
I believe
100%.
so.
I mean, even though I mentioned about the Ursa, I'm not sure if he likes to play Ursa, but I do know he likes to play TA. Undying TA, pretty potent combo in the mid game.
Yeah.
You have the slow and the tombstone. You're very good at taking team fights, and you have that trap at the Roshan, so you can easily scout if the Alchemist team is trying to get the Roshan. Could be a possible pickup for them. But this is a push.
More timing push. This is a
Timing push. They're gonna go all in for this push.
yeah. This is an all-in push, and they already have some things to like get rid of the lasso. So if the Pugna is in the front lines, the LC has to be positioned in a very good spot to
like
remove
this
it.
last pick.
I think it's a
Ah.
great approach to dealing with the Alchemist. Just being
You
able
can
to pressure him, kill him.
Kill
Yeah.
the illusions with Aghanims.
Yep.
Pugna,
It's cool.
Lina.
Nice.
Oh, right. Strap yourselves in. You are not moving a muscle. It is happening. The Boston Major has got another curveball for you because we're going into a third with some very rarely picked heroes with Warriors Gaming versus OG, and you are not allowed to leave. Get some hydration, get some sustenance because you are not going to move, and hopefully this is going to be a long one. Your casters are not going to be moving a muscle, at least not the ones outside of their mouths. Let's check in with your casters. It's Malini and Toby to take you through.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, it's easy, Machine. I like to cast with my entire body. So, yes, it will be a fantastic game. We almost got close. We thought... We thought we were going to get the WG Meepo. It wasn't quite there, but we still got an interesting draft. The Pugna coming through was the last one, and Lina gets to show herself here at the main stage.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where the lane is going to fit in. SD Lush, I think, is much more stable because you can push in case your lane doesn't go work out too well. But the Pugna is really the surprise one here. I thought they might go more late game, but with the Pugna, with the Luna, I think they can push down very, very early.
All right, so talk us through the Pugna. What is the mindset here of WG? The panel was saying this is a bit of a push, kind of, it's an all-in style push. What are they looking to achieve with their draft?
It's not 100% all in. You used to see Lion be picked versus like the SD Luna because Mana Drain is on a 5-second cooldown and you can just instantly kill an illusion. But what's better is Pugna's ult with Ags on a 0-second cooldown, which you can just instantly kill all illusions. We've seen the SD illusions just over and over again just wreak havoc on the lane. If you kill them, it's not worth it because they only last for so long. But if you don't kill them, they just own your supports. So that's late game. Early game, you push early on. And Lina is one of the most intensive mana users in the game. And as a support, you just don't have the luxury of buying a BKB or whatever item it may be to counter the Pugna.
Looking for the fight. Undying is going to get Light Striker raid up by Juggernaut. He'll turn for a double decay. This is all for the Battle of the Rune. Ana picked up and thrown away, and then the denial of the Bounty Rune! X-Nova style pointing on the Alchemist. No instant bottle or any kind of huge amount of money for Ana this time around.
Pretty big. And they have the
was
Pugna in the
slick.
mid lane too. Pugna is not the highest armor hero, only 2 armor on him, so he might struggle a little bit. But yeah, WG have committed 3 heroes to this top lane. They are doing the tri-lane with the Undying and the Rubik Luna, definitely a potent one. And SD Lina, it's going to be tough to match. Undying is trying to run up this hill, but
It's going to be easier once he gets up there and they realize that first camp has been blocked out. Judging by the Lena's position, they have to know there's a ward there for the first entry drops.
a nice Decrep. He's trying to limit his last hits a lot. This is not something that you see too often. A Decrepify at level 1. It is a very long cooldown, 15 seconds, and just for 1 CS, but I think every little bit counts when you're up against Greevil's Greed.
D-ward of the D-ward. What's more important to WG at the moment? Trying to unblock the big camp pull, which has been blocked up by the observer ward that OG have already placed down, or blocking up the pull once again.
I think just using their killing that observer ward so they can pull and to get the extra gold anyways. I think you can pull the lane to a much more favorable position.
Again, we get to have this little bit of an off-lane duel. Kangaroo going up against S4. Legion on Batrider. It's gonna be fairly even on that front. The mid lane is probably gonna be more of the interesting one. 11-6 versus 3 for 0. This Alchemist needs some friends, because right now he's just getting completely out-farmed.
We've really only seen, I think, Ursa as one of the main mids that crushes an Alchemist, but I like this approach that they're taking with the Pugna. Pugna has very high intelligence and also just very high base damage. We're talking about 65 at level 3, and even an Alchemist with a Quelling Blade it's difficult to contest. And let's see.
Top lane, that spin gonna go off, and looks like it's real trouble. The Luna gets picked up by Fly's SD. The illusions of the Luna already working against him.
Undying will suicide to the Black Dragons. Ana, no bounty rune for him at minute 2. He headed down bottom, saw it was an invis, and he's like, screw this. Nana, does he have his bottle yet? Yes, he does.
WG's gonna persist with this try off lane.
They have to. They should. The Undying is a waste if you're just like farming with him in the meantime. And as we talked about last game, trading farm versus an Alchemist, generally not the best idea. So they want their Luna to be as beefy as possible. You can't sack the Luna. You need high levels of Lunar Blessing so that you can push down early.
But you need farm on the Legion Commander as well, and right now it's 6-2 against the 12-4. Kangaroo's not having the greatest time down there, so both your side lanes are not faring so well. The Pugna's the only one who's kind of crushing in the lane.
They don't have access to the secret shop on the bottom lane. He has the boots and the magic stick on Chicken.
Nice stun. Catcher a little bit late, but you do get that quick disruption off. Nice control. Really nice control from the loser mean to start with the triple light strike array from Jirax. Without dying, the decay is not enough to keep him alive. And OG will spill the blood again. Give props to WG, they kept that Juggernaut spin away from the fight as long as they could, but the support's doing so much work.
Yeah, 3-man stun in that lane, and just building up magic charges all around. Jug's also really strong in the tri-lane, and I would say, yeah, he's maybe slightly weaker than Luna, but that support duo from the SD Luna is just incredibly difficult to survive against. Maybe if they can afford some raindrops to get into the lane, but at this moment, neither the Undying nor the Rubik even have boots. So Bounty Rune finally will go the way of Ana.
The upside about having a one-on-one matchup on that bot lane, the bottom rune wasn't even picked up from the 2-minute mark. So he gets the 2-minute invis rune, gets back up to full health and mana, and then gets the bounty rune as well.
Some value.
Definitely value timing off the lane. And he comes back and Pugna's just trying to rip him apart. But Pugna managed to grab the regeneration rune. That's why Nana is very happy just to keep spamming into the Alchemist at the moment.
Yeah, he can get one more off. Get some good damage on the tower.
Top lane, they're actually going in for the SD. Pick him up, throw him back in again. Fly with the aggressive disruption. Still going to lose his life. The aggressive disruption allows Notal to do a little bit of chip damage into the Luna with a spin. Still enough to find the kill, and with Afu able to get double decays time and time again. OG's forced back underneath their own tier 1.
And Juggernaut.
Partner just drained out the Alchemist in the mid. Decrepify into Blast into Drain. I only caught the last glimpse of it. Thanks to that uphill ward, they have a lot to work with. Afu, another double decay. Soul rips off cooldown in 1 second time. He's going to need that life to survive and get back to his tier 1 tower. Arjit, a little bit too far up too. Jirax rotating over. They don't have disruption available, but they know over in the tree lines. Jirax, do you sense it? No, he doesn't. X-Nova TP's out. Light Strike Array dodge, but No-Tail starts up with a spin, and with the Slave thrown out by Jirax.
This level 2 Soul Catcher in the lane is
bottom
just...
lane, S4.
Ooh.
He finds the kill. He'll lose his life for this, but you're okay with that. That's a lot of money going into the Batrider, not to mention it's only Batrider who gets the experience. And they're going to go again on top lane with the disruption. I don't know if that's actually flies. No, we can't. The Soul rips back up. But there's no mana left now for RFU.
I'm seeing an unusual build from Batrider too. I guess it's not that unusual if you're in a one-on-one situation with the Arcane Boots. Just trying to constantly keep up sticky onto him. But Batrider, he really likes those surprise kills with the level 1 Flame Break. I think S4 in particular, opting to not go for Lasso at level 6. And the Flame Break, quote-unquote nerf, was I think actually a buff in the lane, at least in straight one-on-one situations like this, where you get an extra tick of the Flame Break.
With that damage, I mean, he's going to be a little bit more support to move down a bottom lane, or they can just do this lane rotation. Kangaroo arrives up on top lane. No-Tail instantly tries to just show him who's boss by attacking and pushing him back. And OG doing what OG normally does. They will send the Alchemist into the jungle, and this will allow Jirax to get a lot of extra farm. Giving Lina burst levels. She can farm from range. 2 points up in the Dragon Slave means it's quite simple for her to hold off this mid lane and not put herself in compromising positions. Smoke up by S4 as well as Fly, moving from the bottom lane over. They have the lasso available. Fly with a 2-2 build. I don't know if Jirax is trying to bait them in, but the Radiant scan hit perfectly,
they know
so
exactly
they know OG's moving. But still, they stick around, so Fly, he's running up. Fu's going to make his way over. Anna, now he also arrives. No points up in concoction, but they start with the SD disruption into the Light Strike Array. Very quick kill over on the Undying. S4's forced to move away from the Pugna.
I like that body block from the Alchemist. He can't contribute with the stun, but he just got the body block enough so that Shadow Demon could lead off with that disruption. I like that involvement from his team.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Movement's good, but now this opens up space on bottom lane. So the Luna able to chip into the tier 1 tower.
And looking at the early game damage that the Pugna did to the Alchemist, and the net worth chart Pugna is number 1. That's very unusual to see. So that solo kill is definitely making a big impact, and on the 8-minute rune, Ana will get another bounty rune. Now he's number 1.
And Fly is babysitting the bottom rune. I don't know if he kind of wants it into the hands of S4. No easy regeneration for S4, but what's coming on the courier? Alright, so Armlet. Not much of a surprise for the Alchemist. Just shy of 9 minutes, and you've already completed the Armlet.
It looks like they're headed up for a smoke right now. No scan on the side of WG. They're going to have to stance this one with their wits.
You still got No-Tail with spin, couple of stick charges, and Omni Slash. So it's not the most simplest kill for WD to get, and that's why, yep, run in range, can't get in there for the telekinesis, so the top lane fight doesn't work. Instead it's down the bottom lane, where the TPs are on their way. Juggernaut just arrived out here. Luna with the Eclipse from inside the trees, instantly pops off the SD. Undying might have to sacrifice himself. He's got the Chaos cooldown in 1 second time, can turn for a 3-man decay. So much life lost, duels being won. Somehow, no, he will tick out. The flame break from S4 will kill off the Undying.
Great position from the Luna and the awareness. Running into the right side so that they could fog. And OG, they had just the eyes onto the Luna right there. They didn't even want to kill the Undying. They could have easily just went for a disruption and stun combo on him. But
S4 really still want to fight. They're pinging out. They know there's still some in the trees. Jirax is there now. S4 into the Firefly, throws out the sticky napalm. So Rubik feels like he can come in with a Soul and actually no, just a Light Strike Array from Jirax being on target. Jirax starts his TP. They need to attack him. They need to see him. They can't. Jirax is out. S4's in a little bit more of a stickier situation.
Napalm, napalm, napalm.
He's waiting. He's not leaving. He refuses to leave. A very dangerous thing to do when you're that close to your Blink Dagger. Fu trying to battle Ana for the top bounty rune, so who gets the glory of the money? And it will in fact be the Alchemist who gets an Invis rune.
Dire's bottom tower
Aether are already
is
up on the
under
Pugna. They can start pushing a little bit. They don't have too much sustain though. No arcane boots on their side. And mana will become an issue.
That's problematic. Flame Break gonna push Fu back. He does top Soul Rip and actually commits the Tombstone. Surprising, because this can be taken care of by OG, or maybe you can't. The TP in from X-Nova pulling Ana back. He has that Invis rune and they don't have detection. So they get away with murder, OG, under the tier 1 tower of the Mid-Radiant.
Radiant's middle tower
Thinking from
is falling.
WG's perspective, are they okay with how the Alchemist is progressing in his items? They kept him down for the first few minutes. Pugna got a solo kill on him, but aside from that, he's just been able to farm up the Ancients. He was briefly involved in that kill in the mid lane. And now he's still going to have his Radiance maybe, 14 minutes instead of 12 minutes? And how much difference is that 2 minutes going to make? What can they do? Can they push down any more T1s aside from the mid and the top? Are they going to be able to kill him again? Are they going to be able to limit the Batrider timing?
Doesn't feel like Luna's got enough levels that they can force the issue. At least with a Pugna, you know you got direct damage into the tier 1s.
This is what their strategies revolved around, though. Pushing early with the Pugna. If you just farm with a Pugna at this point in the game, you're going to lose really, really badly. So they don't want any second to lose, but this tower is just a long trek from the Radiant base. It's just very difficult to actually gather up and group everyone up without losing too much on your sides.
They're going to fortify. With the Ether Lens, Nana never has to come in range of the tower. So Notal, he knows he can't even deny the tower with the burst damage that comes from the Nether Blast. There's nothing OG can do about it. So just under 12 minutes and all tier 1 towers were lost for OG. They still control the farming areas. So the Alchemist is still getting a lot of money.
And will they get a bounty rune again?
Yep.
Yes.
So money, money, money.
And a tri-stack. Ancient stack that he's looking to take out.
This should be the relic.
Yeah, this should be relatively easy for him to take out. So overall, the net worth is just what, 2,000, 1,500 in favor of OG. Going to be a little bit worse after that stack, but still nothing too bad. There's Fly.
Looking for the opening. Running away under the SD. Starts his TP. Do they have vision? No, they don't. That's a Dire Observer ward. Not a WG1. So they're unable to find the kill. In fact, with the catcher and the disruption illusions, it's RG2S to run all the way home.
Yeah, he blew a clip through that as well.
Batrider's coming back in again. They're de-warding. This won't work. Nova picked up, thrown over the hillside, and Laguna Blade from Chirax committed. That is a kill secure if ever we've seen one before.
Definitely worth. Rubik just, like, I wasted so much time. I went up there, I dropped the Sentry where I didn't even get the kill, and I'm dead. He has to go back up there to de-ward it, and then perhaps rejoin up with his team. And every second they lose, Ana is very close to his ratings, just 100 gold away as he finishes his last Satyr camp. So, despite all the early game tribulations that he
Bottom
went
lane.
through, it's almost the same
Notal
results.
just running in right behind the Pugna. He's going to start with the Omni Slash. Dodges the first stun to Crepify. Only amplifies the Juggernaut. Now it's up to the Undying to escape. Not going to happen when Fly already has Pudge. Undying just can't run away fast enough. Loses his Tombstone. Jirax with Dragon Slain. They'll mop up that Undying, and they want the whole thing. They want Arjit. The Luna cannot run away in time, and that's a double kill for the leaner of all heroes. But it's momentum for OG more than anything else.
We are so happy if you're OG right now. Their 4 heroes just repelled a push of 3. The T2 tower didn't even take any sort of damage during that last push. And it was kind of a game of chicken in between the Pugna and the Juggernaut. And he's waiting for the Omni Slash, but he knows he can counter it with the Decrepify. But by the time he casts it, he's already at like 20% and just ticks down to the spin. And there's no way he's going to regen the life. So the Decrep comes out just slightly too late from him, and life's still useless versus the magic immune Juggernaut. And that's how the fight started off. Once you lose your Pugna like that, everyone else is going to fall like dominoes.
Yep. And this is where OG are able just to push this into, well, a push. Looking around that bottom lane, they managed to plant down an aggressive Observer ward. So they can see him behind the towers. We'll see if anyone's able to cotton on to the fact of what happened.
See the disappointment in Nana's face since he realizes that that
see the
push has
Luna.
gone poorly.
They know the Luna. Fly's got no way to close the distance. This is his only downside at the moment with the SD. But when Arfu sits on top of the tower, they know that distance can easily be closed. Blink Lasso out from S4, and with Undying down, questions if OG want to go for more. There's a lot of WG rotating under the cover of smoke.
OG are happy with their in and out. They used their lasso already. They may be able to catch Fly out here.
Nova didn't really want to do that, but I suppose it works at the end of the day. Yeah, I've actually broke smoke on the Juggernaut illusions that Fly created. But they catch Fly, get a support, it's something.
And now the net worth chart is starting to look very ugly. WG, they just don't have enough items on the Luna nor the Pugna. The Pugna is a great counter to the illusions if you can get your Scepter. But right now he hasn't even built one piece as of yet, and WG desperate for some tower gold. And there's no lasso, but I mean, the Bat Rider has been causing a big problem in these fights, but like if they really want to fight, they just TP the Alchemist in. He has BOT, so he can easily join if they want. And the Siege is starting no tail, trying to fend them off.
He's fine with this. If they spend any time attacking No Tail, it just gives more space for Jirax to actually attack the tier 1 tower on the top. The Alchemist already pressured in the mid. So WG with a 5-man committal to bring down a tier 2 tower, already losing on the map. So this has to be to the end objective. Take out a tier 2, and then they look to slowly get closer towards the tier 3/racks of OG.
Uh-oh, Firefly and Lasso is up again. S4 hunting down in the trees. Nana pinged out.
And she was always going to be that Netherward no-tail spin to try and kill it off to Crepify. Slows down that process. Meanwhile, Alchemist attacking tier 2 tower top. TP is finally coming back, so Arjit will TP in towards the mid.
Now this gives a green light for S4 and the rest of OG to scout in the trees, look for any stragglers. I think one thing that the Lina brings a lot that the Leshrac doesn't is anti-Luna mechanism. Like Luna almost always gets BKB if the game goes to a reasonable time, but with the Ags on the Lina, you can actually just kill the Luna, and they don't have any real good way to save her. Even if you Decrepify, doesn't really matter. Pure damage, not that big of a deal.
WG just smoked up. The Luna was only barely visible to the Observer Ward, and this is why Ana is now moving out of the jungle. He already got the stack he wanted, and they'll move into a defensive position. WG really unlucky with that. That Observer Ward doesn't see that far over, but it was just far enough to see the Luna.
Kangaroo might jump over there. S4 trying to pop the smoke. Undying pops smoke pop. He knows exactly where they are. Are they going to make the leap up there? Nope.
You really want to jump your Legion Commander?
You're just unsure about how you're gonna. You have to like blink there. You have to not get fog, and then you have to click on him with the duel before he blinks out. So it's a low probability play, and if you do that, the rest of your team is downhill because he's the only one on this team with the blink dagger. But if you don't, you just waste smoke. So it looks like they will go for the lesser of two evils.
And not a lot of help to have, so OG pretty much in control of this game for the moment. The Golden Experience continues to slope their way. And WG, they have to do something soon. Smoke gank fails time and time again. OG continues to back out, start their farm with the SD plus the Manta coming up soon for Ana.
Yeah, this is actually very scary for WG. They can't take it late. If Luna gets farmed, you just get the Ags, pull it to the Lina, and then there goes like 3/4 of her HP.
And the Luna's still going to be fighting against your own team. Maybe this is one way to do it. Blink, duel, and the Eclipse with no creep wave. Ana had no other choice but to tank the entire thing.
And that's a pretty penny, 756 gold going the way.
Well, S4 found his opening. It's going to be an Undying, so you trade off your Alchemist for a level 7 Undying. Actually, not even going to get that trade. Drops the Tombstone. And OG are bailing.
Now they need actually to give the Alchemist a little bit of help. WG has switched their gameplay. They're not going to group up as, or they were not grouping up as 5, as OG probably expected. And I see the lines drawn now. OG maybe trying to defend the last bit of this tower.
But WG just drew a line saying, we go this way. This tower must die. A glorious death. OG S4 doesn't have his lasso up for another 32 seconds. No Tail just runs in. Omni Slash just kills the Rubik. And now, well, the duel was available with the spin. The body blocking from Arfu holds the Juggernaut there. The anti-disruption's out, but it won't keep the Juggernaut alive. Legion Commander will break free. Now Batrider back into the mix. And the damage output is so high from OG. WG have nowhere to run. They lose everything but the Pugna.
That's the Alchemist actually joining the fight. I think last fight they were like, oh, okay, Alchemist wasn't there, and he was dead, so they decided to push. But Rubik immediately died. They have superior ward vision with the Sentry and the Observer close to that high ground. So
you're gonna see it again. So this is the start of it. Arfu with the body block tanks so much of this. They kill off the Juggernaut. That's nice, but then Alchemist does his stuff. S4 in from the side. You're seeing the burst damage of G-Rax come to fruition as well. And now you also lose the SD. A little bit more fine as they drag the Pugna away. Not far enough, close enough to the rest of OG to find the instant kill. And because the only one left there is Jirax, but he does have that Laguna Blade available.
And Luna, she also doesn't have an HOD, so she can't keep up in farm with the Alchemist. They haven't been able to stack Ancients. They need her as that tower hitter. Pugna is also pretty decent, but they still need the Luna there for the right click and the damage.
Right now, Luna can't even beat an Alchemist illusion.
Yeah, they're kind of close to the Ags on the Pugna. 150 gold away. Nana was the sole survivor of that fight, and only one death to his name this game. That's how you make money, not dying.
This would be a horrible way for WG to go out without a push draft not working for them. The jump in with the blade mail over on Kangaroo. They do find another kill, so Lena is down. Kangaroo on the run out of here. Is there enough life? Arfu, he does actually, no, he doesn't actually have the Soul Rip available anymore. Tombstone gets mopped up, and Arfu's on the run. Anna, copies made. It's by the Rubik who stole Disruption. This is actually a really nice thing for WG. Causing chaos with Illusion of Illusion of Illusion bouncing around the mid lane.
It reminds me of those PL days where like SD would make an illusion of PL and they could like infinitely spawn illusions and you would just see them run all the way to the other side of the map.
This is the upside Winter was talking about with the Pugna. Now that the Aghanim Scepter is done just before the 22-minute mark, all these illusions which OG create can instantly be, well not instantly, but pretty efficiently be destroyed.
That is a big benefit. However, their team fight is still a little bit worse.
Is he actually solo killed? He started his TP, but it was too late. Yep, that's a solo kill. Anna's even farming the creeps around him and lets him burn to the Radiance. All that was missing was a taunt.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of was a taunt. That was a taunt right there, Toopy.
In-game taunt. You're not even worth my time. I'm not going to waste a bullet on you. You'll die from shrapnel.
That's a sad life. That's Luna. What a way to die. So demoralizing.
And now she's at 7.5k. You talked about like the lack of like a Dominator, but I can't even complete a Commander style at the moment.
I think she just has to play greedy and maybe ignore her team for a little bit. You're not going to win this game with a Luna who is a third of the net worth of the Alchemist. She needs more items, or you call the supports to stack for you. And you can use the Tombstone to do the Ancients quite easily.
Anna being so efficient, already with the Octarine now 23 minutes in. Lacking one more item before he'll start considering Aghanim Scepter upgrades.
Yep, and there's 4 Alchemist Illusions just walking down the mid lane, just looking anywhere for WG heroes. LC, in theory, the overwhelming odds is pretty good versus it, but Alchemist almost always gets this amount of farm. So your overwhelming odds, it's like what, half his HP, and then there's another 4 illusions just like 10-15 seconds later.
Even when he hit those illusions in the mid, it took maybe a quarter. Maybe. I think it was actually just under a quarter of the life of the illusions. That's not really a great counter at the moment. And OG looking to now take Roshan. This will be a trade-off for that tier 2 tower on the top lane, and it looks like WG is very much aware of this. There's no reason and there's no way they can contest Roshan to get the best trade-off you can.
Yeah, so what's on his next item? Usually we see one armor item, either the Shivas or the AC, or he could pull his team in Ags. I still think he is in a little bit danger of not having any armor, because there are a lot of right-clickers on WG's side. but he could diversify and just let someone else do the damage. There is level 3 Pugna ward up, so Lina may not be the best choice for that. Bat Rider, more of a super late game thing with the Ags on him. Juggernaut, I think, is a pretty good candidate, but the only problem is he doesn't have actually that many items to synergize with the Omni Slash. I'd probably just say an item, armor item on Alchemist, and then play it by ear from there.
I'm fine with that. SD Purge would be a really nice thing, more than anything else.
They don't have any BKBs though, so it's generally best versus like heavy melee cores who are prone to getting kited. LC, she has dual, so she doesn't get kited that easily, and Luna has range with the Dragon Lance, and I think just dies without with just one Purge. You don't need 3 for her.
Yeah, we may not even get to that point of the game. Right now, OG is assaulting the tier 2 town. Get everything up, Blink Lasso, that's a nice catch. It's the LC, instantly murdered. Well away from WG. There was no way Nether Ward was going to stop that, which now does get planted down. Still got that Laguna Blade available for the Lina as S4 gives the vision, sees up, and that Nether Ward is not going to survive. So now Jirax has a ticket to kill. The drain on the Alchemist is nowhere near enough. His Chemical Rage will wear off in a bit, but it's just space created. The Leech Commander does not want to buy back. They keep the pressure up. Fortification has been expended for WG. The long-range drain, but Anna, 2 seconds, and Chemical Rage is back off cooldown again, so he can just attack into the melee racks. Yule Scepter, Jirax sets up as the Undying. The stun's available. No mana for the Laguna Blade, and Afu, oh, okay, it's still not enough. He started his regeneration. He got the Tombstone down, but lost his life to the Alchemist. Now Anna actually helping the SDs cause disruptions of disruptions, fighting out around the mid, but OG got the objective. They took the melee racks, and they're leaving.
Look at Rubik's HP. He almost died to illusions in the well. And Pugna actually ran out of mana that fight. He was draining all the illusions and draining the Alchemist, and then he was at like 200 mana, and then he went back home to heal, but OG just pressed the attack at that exact moment.
This really is a dream game for OG. Another Alchemist game where they're just so far in front. Their initiation was never really nerfed either, so S4, the first time reveals the Blink Dagger, finds a kill, and it's just been up and better for him ever since that point with the Blink, Ether Lens, and Force Staff.
I think the AC is almost completed, just needs a little bit more gold for that Hyperstone slash Plate Mail. And then he is officially 6-slotted. Armor I would consider part of a 6-slot.
Unless he wants to get rid of that. But that can come later. For now, it's still worth the Aghanim's upgrades to everyone else. There's a lot of money, in fact, sitting in Jirax's bank. Wondering if he's tossing up if he gets an Aghanim Scepter of his own, obviously don't really need it. Or if he's just going to get this Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I think both have their merits. I think one thing that he does have to worry about is the Pugna Ward. 1.75 damage per mana versus her 3 spells cost what, around 700 mana?
Is there another way around it? Like, is there like a tanky kind of item? I don't know if we really want to say like, hey, like Jirax, you should like get Octarine and then get the Aghanim's upgrade.
I've seen Bloodstone before. Like Bloodstone is a build of a core laner, but I think it's either HP or BKB is generally what you get. Scepter gives you a fair amount of HP, but you can easily give that, be given that by the Alchemist, and Alchemist is almost a slot challenged right now.
Well, Jirax up to 3.5k, so we'll find out what he wants to build in just a bit. Oh, WG under the cover of smoke, again looking for some kind of opening. Kangaroo's the closest, just a whole bunch of illusions, does not want to initiate in on that. But rather more annoyed that his Blink Dagger gets put on cooldown, and with both of the aggressive Observer Wards from WG, it's not giving them any information on who they want to kill. OG is on the other side of the map. So that one ward sitting inside the Radiant jungle, this little guy is going to do most of the work for WG.
They're waiting for Jirax's Scepter. He's going to go for that item himself, and just needs these 2 creeps for the point booster, and there he goes. So
actually bought his own.
Yeah, Luna is just pretty much like dead at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's not level 16 yet, but that's half her HP, and then
unless she gets like the perfect Manta dodge, that's the only dream that exists for this Luna.
It's asking for a lot. I mean, even the Pugna doesn't have that much HP. 1300 HP dealing with the 650 damage Luna.
Mm-hmm. And OG just keep waiting it out. Diffusal Blade is now the pickup for Notel, so Manta and Diffusal.
There's the Roshan respawn, so just 1 minute out of the 1 of 3, or the 0 to 3, post 8. That was confusing.
But a little.
Yeah.
He'll be up soon, in 4 minutes, roughly. And OG are fine with this. It's back to the farm. We've almost got 30,000 net worth over on the Alchemist. Just in case everyone didn't feel like once was enough to get their compendium predictions of over 1,000 gold per minute, and is sitting at around 1,015 at the moment on this Alchemist.
That's like the only freebie in the compendium predictions, highest GPM in the game.
Everything else is pretty damn hard to predict.
Yeah.
I know most people with a fallout of VP today probably lost their bracket prediction, because they would have had them going to at least the semifinals.
OG wrapping around, no tail is by his lonesome in the back.
S4. Does he find? He would love it.
Yeah, he's looking for wards at the moment. And
Is this
will catch that
Is this
observer.
Notel's Ags? Yeah, it's Notel's Ags being given over by Anna. So double Aghanim Scepter for OG, and they're ready to fight. Line's been drawn by the Rubik, and this is OG coming in from this place. But without Firefly, they're not.
Now Pugna has shown in the mid, and they all have to back off. OG had an observer ward like a little bit north of where the Luna is right now, but it just expired. Should be a fairly straightforward push for them. WG, their high ground defense pretty much rests on, I don't know, I guess LC.
Yeah.
LC getting a good duel on, I don't know. Even if he gets Juggernaut, I would think it'd be pretty good, because Juggernaut has a lot of survivability, but if you get him before he can pop Omni or Spin or Manta, that could be a great way to start off the fight. And
It seems like the best way. It's like the best way is to kill off the SD at this point. Like, stop this illusion spam that keeps coming, but you've still got Manta, you've still got a whole bunch of other things that are causing WG issues.
You can counter him with a Runic Spellfield of your own, though, and have create your own disruption army. But now they have to be aware of where the bat is. Where is he going to be? And OG has taken measures to make sure that there are no wards, no radiant wards at least, around where they are. So now he can approach from the perfect angle from the fog. A lot of times you expect it from the left side, where Anna kind of where it's standing right now, next to those trees. So they have to be wary of that. They have to be wary of him just running in through the right side. And they've already dropped the sentry to make sure they don't have an observer ward. But this tower's already at 25% HP. They need to do something.
Yep.
They can't just wait for Alchemist to break their base.
The best advantage right now is the fact that Fly has to keep using Shadow Poison after he disrupts. So he's burning extra mana to do this, just so his disruption doesn't get stolen. That's the only advantage, though. So he's not going to have a lot of mana for the fight, even though 9-1 charges are available. Thing for OG to keep your eyes on if they are really going to try and take this fight is S4's positioning. Watch that Batrider closely.
Yep, battle of there wasn't a reserve ward up there, but Juggernaut quickly took that out. WG still just deathly afraid inside their base. Just one push away.
Rightly so,
being
like,
eliminated.
how do you even initiate? You wait for someone from OG to get in too close. Now Anna starts the stun, finds the plug that almost kills him straight away, but then you've got the duel with the Blade Mail up. Kangaroo can't actually do any damage. Anna's just so damn tanky. WG, they're losing too many people. The mass buybacks are on their way, and WG throwing everything they've got to try and stay in the Boston Major. OG, they look strong, they look tough, they look big, and Alchemist looks like he doesn't give two hoots. Back into the Chemical Rage, back to objective-based gaming to bring down the ranks. X-Nova, there's a concoction stun, but who do they want? They want Nana, if they can get it. No tail! Almost takes him. 2 hits from him, plus the Lena Dragon Slave. That's what finds the kill. Another buyback now expended. That is 4 in total. Only the Undying hasn't used one. And that's because he doesn't have the money.
And they weren't really close to killing anyone on the side of OG, and you have to go back to the draft and wonder whether or not that first ban Earth Spirit was really worth it for them. They seem to have kind of a lineup that's tailored towards dealing with the Alchemist with the Pugna last pick. However, look how flat this fell.
It definitely hasn't been the dream for WG.
Well, last perhaps smoke of the game as Warriors Gaming trying to smoke outside of their base. OG
Who wants an Ags? Who wants an Ags? Anyone want an Ag? Fly. Have an Ags on the house.
3 and counting? 2, or I guess 2 from him. And counting.
2 from him, 1 on Lena, who bought it herself. WG. This has to work. There is no other chances. This is the last roll of the dice. They've slipped all the way around to find absolutely no one. And if they do come down now, their smoke's going to wear off, and the dire Observer Ward on the hill for OG will see everything. And yep, they're actually bailing out. They leave an Observer Ward behind and a 5 TP home. So OG will dodge a bullet. Well, WG will dodge a bullet.
OG just need to stay together at this point. Their 5-man with Ana up in front is just incredibly difficult to pierce.
Yep. And they're going to get Roshan anyway. WG bailed out. Obviously, OG have no idea about this, so they're still being very tentative around the pit. I say tentative when you've got the amount of damage on the Alchemist, the Juggernaut you've got. It's a very quick and simple Roshan. And that is a big advantage.
And you can try and hope for a base race if you're WG at this point, because fighting the Alchemist 1-on-1 or 5-on-5 rather is suicide. But the Luna isn't strong enough to push out these lanes quickly enough, nor is she strong enough to contest the base race against the AC on the Alchemist.
Here they come. WG. The stand is now. The Pugner is actually not even there yet. And well, Omni Slash does this work. Kangaroo will go down. No Tail with the double kill. And they call GG. WG will admit defeat in the face of OG, who advance themselves forward. Look at that smile on No Tail. It's happening again. Time major winners are looking to see if they can bag their 3rd Eagle song.
Yeah, and they're definitely the best major team.